the last episode of 2017. I am joined by Teaki Page from Feed the Earthlings. Welcome along, Teaki.
Thank you.
And whilst you people are figuring out that we're actually live, let's mention what's happening this weekend. Can you guess what events are coming up this weekend? Maybe in Brisbane on Saturday, maybe?
Have you ever been to the Green Edge?
I have. It's awesome.
Have you?
Yes.
It's great, isn't it? I wonder if they're doing anything this weekend.
I tell you what, I should get in touch with them and find out. Maybe
Yeah,
they
why
are.
not?
Yes.
Why not? Great idea. Maybe they're doing something for Christmas.
That would be wonderful if they did like a very vegan Christmas.
Perfect.
That would
You
be
should
fantastic.
be their marketing guru.
I should be, shouldn't I? So if you're in Brisbane and you want to go to the Green Edge for a very vegan Christmas, you should go there this Friday night or Saturday, where they have maybe a 4-course meal or something like that. Maybe something like that. Anyway, it sounds like a paid advertisement. And then,
well, I hope you're not getting paid for that. If you don't know how many courses it is,
yes.
that was probably vital information.
Yes. Okay. And then Sunday, January the 7th is the
you didn't
second.
tell me how much it was.
I don't know how much it is.
Didn't you say before how much?
Oh, I thought it was. I made a guess.
Oh.
And Sunday,
It's not
Sunday, the January the 7th is the second Froth Fest, where tickets are only $10. This is on the Gold Coast from 12 noon at the Miami Marquetta, and that poster behind me says live music and bar and food and events and giveaways, and you can win a $1,400 Vitamix blender. So get along with that. Excuse me. I think I drank too much. It's repeating. Okay, so tonight it's very quiet tonight. Nobody's noticing that we're here. Why is that, Teaki? I mean, everybody looked at your photo and loved your photo. I thought lots of people noticed that one. So what is going on tonight? Oh, no, there's a couple of people there. It's just because we didn't start at 7:30. So sorry about that.
Let's just go with that.
Let's go with that. We'll go with that one.
Yeah.
So what I want to start off with tonight, actually, because tonight I want to find out from you how Feed the Earthlings came to be. And I've mentioned in the promo photo that it's from very humble beginnings at your Ashmore factory outlet, but it actually goes back prior to that, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. It goes back to starting in Brisbane. It goes back to you being vegan. Yes, so we're going to find out a bit about that. We're going to find out your plans for expansion. Oh, yes. There's an FTE coming to you soon. And just a few different things there that we're going to find out. And we need you guys to come online and show some enthusiasm for the last vegan hour of 2017. Put down your Feed the Earthlings burger for a second and actually watch the lights.
Well, they're pretty irresistible.
They are incredibly irresistible. And I was looking at photos of them earlier thinking, I haven't had dinner. What am I going to do about this? So, because I can't get there in time. If only there was like a Uber Eats.
Oh, what a great idea.
Uber
We're
Eats.
just marketing geniuses, aren't we?
We are. So let's go back. Okay, so let's start with the very humble beginnings. So you had, talk us through it. You had a pizza shop in Capella Bar. That's right. Okay. So this was, how long ago was this?
Just over 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So
2.5 years ago. Yeah.
So it wasn't vegan at all.
Right. And you weren't vegan at the time either.
I wasn't vegan. No.
Okay.
No. So I was a big meat eater. My favourite pizza at the shop was a carnivore.
Oh.
So I mean, now I couldn't even use.
Yeah. Yes. Couldn't even think of that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So you had a pizza shop.
Yeah.
And you started getting customers in that were vegan. Is that right? Is that?
Well, we actually had one particular customer who was, and she told us that she couldn't get a pizza anywhere because they wouldn't serve her one without cheese.
So she couldn't go to a pizza shop and say, I'll have a vegetarian without cheese.
Yeah.
She could, wow, okay.
No.
Okay.
They told her they couldn't do that because the pizza would fall apart. And she said, well, it's my pizza, so, you know, I know, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And we were quite shocked because, you know, we have genuinely always really tried to give our best to our customers, especially
Yes.
Phil.
Yeah.
I mean, I do my best as well, but
Yep.
Phil is, you know.
This is your partner, Phil.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
He would just go to the ends of the earth to make a customer happy.
And yes, and this is one of the things that I've really noticed and really loved from when I first found out about you guys when you were at Ashmore, is that, I mean, they were very early for the Gold Coast, very early teething days. You had a factory outlet, and it was very humble.
Humble, yes.
It was very humble.
Let's just say humble.
But
it's a good story now, though, isn't it?
It's a fantastic story, isn't it? Because people came along, and the vegan community on the coast really supported you, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
And not just on the coast.
Really
you were getting people coming down from Brisbane, weren't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But even when we were in Capalaba, when we started serving vegan pizzas there, we had people coming up from Byron Bay.
Oh,
we
that's
had people
impressive.
who heard of us in Melbourne and Sydney. So when they came up, I mean, no one goes to Capalaba as part of their holiday, you know, when they come up here. But they did put it down as part of their, you know, itinerary that they would come out there to get food when they came up.
That is fantastic. So,
yeah, well, that was like 2.5 years ago. So even that short, I mean, you've been facing these challenges pretty much your whole life.
That's right, yeah.
But even 2.5 years ago, the options were so limited.
Yes.
And so, yes, they would come up here.
So let's go back to Capalaba, because I've sort of mixed up two stores there, Capalaba and starting here on the coast. So with Capalaba, so you had a lady come in, she couldn't get a vegan pizza anywhere.
Yeah.
She asked you guys to make one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was this the first time you'd actually even heard of veganism, or was it fairly new to you at that stage?
I think it was around about the same time a friend of mine went vegan.
Yeah.
And she was posting a lot of, like, she was starting to educate herself. Like, so she's a personal trainer, and she had so we knew each other when we were like 12.
Okay.
And I knew she was a personal trainer, and I'd previously seen her, you know, going on about, you know, you need to eat meat to be strong and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah. And then
so
suddenly
she
changed.
Yeah, and she changed, and she started putting things up, and I kind of went, I legitimately had never did not realize that cows had to have a baby to give milk.
Yes, and a lot of people don't realise that cows have
I know,
to.
and I feel pretty stupid saying that, but now I'm going off track again. Anyway, so I noticed that Athena, I don't know if you know Athena, but
yes, the name's familiar.
Athena and Michelle, they now live in New Zealand.
Okay. Yeah.
So I started watching her posts, and everything she posted was really, you know, educational. It wasn't nasty. It wasn't, you know, like it wasn't. Yeah. I don't know. It was just really inclusive, you know, and it made you want to learn more. Like, did you know, and things like that.
That's good. So it was informative and educational without being judgmental.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
Exactly. And her basically saying, you know, we've all grown up thinking that we should eat meat.
Yes.
And, you know, so I get where you're coming from.
Yep.
You know? And she started posting things about mock meats. I remember her doing one how she found those lamyong prawns.
Yeah.
And I was the one that asked her and said, well, why would you want to eat a mock
a fake meat instead
I mean,
of a real one?
You're so against it. Why would you do that? So then she explained it to me. I was like, okay, makes sense. You know, transition and all that sort of stuff.
Transition and okay. Yes.
So she explained to me, I stopped eating meat because of the ethics behind it. It didn't mean that I didn't want to eat the same food.
Yes.
I was eating.
Yeah.
And then so after I started, so yes, that's what had happened. It was we had a regular customer that was coming in asking for cheeseless pizza who couldn't get served anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then I had my friend Athena making posts every time she found something vegan.
So it was two were sort of connecting
I kind
together.
of put two and two together from a business perspective, thinking, well, if we serve vegans, then you know, that's a good way to get a new market. I was just trying to get an edge above the other the other pizza shops in the area.
Brilliant.
And I thought, well, that can be a point of difference.
Yes.
And it really worked. And so because we genuinely do care about the customers, and when they came in and we'd have a good chat, and we had people, you know, and they'd say, "Are you vegan?" And I'd say, "No, I'm not." And you know, but I really admire what you guys are doing. I think it's really fantastic. But you know, at the time, I just didn't know enough. I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So then over time, I would talk to them, and they'd tell me to go and research something, and you know, have a look at this or have a look at that, and I did, and it was Earthlings. That's why it's called Feed the Earthlings.
Oh, right. Yes. Yes.
Earthlings got me.
So you watched Earthlings?
Yeah.
Did you get all the way through it?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
you've done well, because not many people do. And I just want to say thank you to all the people that are watching too. We had a slow start, but there's a few people there watching now, so that's good. And we welcome any comments or questions about Feed the Earthlings as we're talking about their history and as I'm salivating, thinking about their food.
If I know anyone there, I could probably ask them to like.
If you know anyone at your store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if you would. Yeah. So anyway.
Where do we get up to before?
So okay, so you started doing vegan pizzas in Brisbane at the Capella Bar store.
Yes.
And then you were starting to find personally an interest about the ethics of doing the right thing for animals. Yeah. Okay.
It became very clear very quickly.
Okay, good.
It became clear very quickly.
Okay, yes.
It's just all so messed up.
Yeah, well, watching Earthlings sort of does bring that home, doesn't it? That it's also messed up.
Well, no, it's actually back to Athena again. She's shared a video of, I'm starting to get a bit emotional now.
That's all right, you're allowed to.
She shared a video of the baby being taken away from its mom.
Ah, yes, in the dairy industry.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
And that was the first thing that just went, oh my
because
God.
you're a mother, you've got children.
I've got 5 kids.
You've got 5 kids and
even though sometimes I want to go and, you know, give them away, I reckon that should be my choice.
That's right. Okay, so if you want to give it, there's a point. If you want to give your kids away, okay.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that. That's what.
But when somebody comes and says, "I'm taking your kid,"
I think that's a bit rude.
That's unless I've been misbehaving a lot that day. Yeah.
Depends on the day.
That's right. So
no, that really
hit home.
That really hit home.
Okay.
Like that just I just couldn't. Oh, yeah.
That was. Okay, so did you then sort of go, okay, I'm gonna go vegan, or did you transition, or?
Then I was a hypocrite for a long time.
Well, not that long, relatively speaking.
No, not relatively speaking, but I actually do. I have lots of theories on lots of things. I do think that people. I don't know. For me personally, when I quit smoking, when I quit drinking, when I've done all of that, I went through a period where I was a hypocrite because I knew that I shouldn't be doing it. I had to, you know, I don't think we can make these major changes until we really, in our hearts, truly believe and know that that's the right thing to do. And then your behavior just follows. You can't.
That's right.
You know, so
do you find that it's like it just a day comes where suddenly it just clicks and then you do it?
I think so. That's what happened with smoking and drinking. Same thing. You know,
Fantastic.
I was kind of preparing myself for a long time with both of them.
Yeah.
And then it was just,
the time was right, and then it happened.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. Yes.
And then, I mean, our biggest thing was because we were running the businesses. So we were doing, when we were doing the pizzas there, we then started doing we started doing frozen pizzas to go into the supermarket.
Yes.
And we kind of rushed into that. We didn't test the product, you know, it was all something new to us.
Yes.
We didn't test the product well enough, you know, along different ovens and all that sort of stuff. So there was just a hit and miss result. Some people got their pizza home and it was absolutely delicious when they cooked it, and other people it was horrid. Right,
okay.
So obviously that venture didn't go well.
Right, but the idea was great.
The idea was great.
Yes. Frozen pizzas into, was it IGAs? IGAs, fantastic. Yeah.
So the idea was good, and and I think part of it was because, you know, we like to really load up pizzas. Like there's just
Yes,
lots of
I
stuff on it.
know.
So once you freeze it and then try to put that in the freezer,
Put that in the oven.
no,
Yeah.
in the oven,
Yeah,
it just
it's
doesn't-
hard to cook it all the way through. So
yeah,
there's a
so
question. We'll get back to that in a second
Yeah.
because I've something I want to expand on what you're saying there. Nikki asks, when are you going to have your mac and cheese back? When are you going to have it again? Is that coming back?
Oh yeah, that'll
Yeah.
come back.
Okay.
When I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right.
I'll get back to you.
Yep. We'll
Yeah.
come back to you on that one.
Yeah.
So, okay, your pizzas, they're absolutely loaded. You were doing the
Yeah.
frozen pizzas.
Yeah.
Um,
So basically, the bottom fell out of the bat.
yeah.
So, but we were
But-
still stuck with this facility, you know, in
This-
the industrial estate
At Ashmore.
at Ashmore.
Right. This is where the frozen pizzas
Yeah.
were coming from.
So
Yes.
that's where we were doing it,
Yeah.
and we had no money. We were really, really strapped for cash. You know,
Yeah.
like as in
Yeah.
we were struggling to pay our rent at home. We were, you know, getting phones cut off and like really strapped.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had equipment we had to pay leases on. We had, you know, we had the actual factory, and I just sort of thought, well, what are we going to do here? And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm trying to go vegan, and I can't because I felt at the time.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
my feeling at the time that I was genuinely struggling to go vegan because we had been living on Maccas and really bad diet.
Right.
And I just thought, you know what, I can't be the only one
Yeah.
who wants to change for ethical reasons, but it doesn't necessarily mean I all of a sudden want to eat healthy food.
Right.
You know, I'm still
Yeah.
addicted to junk food. And I can't be
I'm
the
glad
only
I'm not
one.
the only one.
Right? I thought I can't be the
Yes,
only one. And then it was
yes.
the same with the kids of trying to get them to have, you know, I mean, they
Yeah.
shouldn't have been eating that crap in the beginning anyway. I'm not denying that.
Kids, don't eat that crap in the beginning.
No, don't.
There's a question there, but I'll get to your question in a minute, Brady. So, yeah. So what you were saying was you wanted to go vegan.
Yeah.
But you didn't. But it
My
didn't.
lifestyle made it at the time made it very difficult for us.
You basically wanted to
do that.
become a junk food vegan.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I can understand
Yeah.
that. I don't know how you stay so slim. I don't know how it's possible because I can't do it. I have to ride 8 million kilometres a day or an hour or something, and I still can't do it.
Yeah, I think it's the sugar.
What, for me?
No, with me.
No, if you have sugar, it's even worse.
Oh, well, I don't know what it
Yeah, I
is.
don't know. You don't. Okay. So this is where the philosophy maybe of saying, okay, you had a factory out
Well, I
there,
had to do something.
you had all the equipment there, and you're like, okay, let's make a classic Aussie takeaway
Yeah.
vegan version of,
Yeah.
which is what you did.
Yeah.
Very humble beginnings.
Yeah.
In an industrial area that was hard to find.
Yeah.
With parking that was nearly impossible to get to. It was really.
It was horrible, and I knew it. We knew it, but it wasn't that we didn't go, oh, let's open a vegan takeaway and put it in an industrial estate in the middle of Ashmore.
Because that was not
what
here's
happened.
the thing: the vegan community supported
Oh
you.
my gosh!
They came out of the woodwork.
They absolutely did.
They did. There were posts on forums. There were people like, "Hey, there's this vegan place where you can go along and get pizzas and hot dogs
You know what
and
they
all
were
that."
doing? We didn't even have, you know, lighting or
Yes.
signs or
Yes.
chairs or
Very humble.
or,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know,
Or chairs. That's
any
right.
of those fancy
Those fancy things
fancy
are
things that
taken
people
for
use.
granted. Yeah. Yeah.
So people were literally using the torches on their
On their
phones to
phones.
find the front door and then to read our little photocopied menus.
That is a hell of a start.
Isn't it?
But I'm glad I was there to see it too. Because I was there to see it.
And it was embarrassing. It really was, you know. And
But-
you had people coming in going, oh, and you'd see people talking about it online. And, why would they do that? And they, you know, really. No, I shouldn't
Everything
say that.
okay.
Most people were fantastic.
I never saw anything negative. I never saw anything negative.
Yeah, but when
I
it's
saw
about you and your.
Okay, you're sensitive to it.
Exactly.
Everything
So it
I
could
saw
have been
was
only-
supportive.
It could have been like 3 comments for all I know, and
Yeah,
I just blew it
yeah.
out of proportion because that's what I do.
Okay, let's get to Brady's question, and we'll go back to how you've grown from there. Brady says, has the transition at Capalaba, now that you have a new outlet at Capalaba, has it gone smoothly? Have you experienced any backlash for turning the business solely vegan?
No. Actually,
it's been good, hasn't it?
It's been really good.
Yeah.
Even our regulars who were disappointed.
Yeah.
Because we, Phil did do very, very good food.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I consider it to be a food, group now, but what he did was very good. So we did have a lot of people that were very disappointed.
Yeah.
But still very understanding and, saying that, well, that's where the world is going and we wish you the best.
So when you say they're disappointed, they're not vegan themselves, but they actually saying things like that's the way the world is going.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it,
yeah,
when a non-vegan recognises that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we tell them, well, so our regular customers, we offer for them to come in and have a free burger on us, because we want them to try it and we want to keep them as customers and we want to encourage,
And they're taking that up?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just been fantastic.
And hi to Jenny from Scotland who said hello from Scotland. That's wonderful.
Oh, wow.
You got vu. Lots and lots of deja vu. Ridiculous amounts of deja vu. Nicole actually commented on one of the videos, and there's so many. It's hard to keep up with the amount of restarts I've done tonight, but people are watching. Good, excellent. This is what I'm calling part 2 of tonight's vegan hour, and we had oh good, people are noticing this one. Excellent. Thank you for sticking with us tonight. Technical difficulties again, and I don't want to have to go right through it, but basically I've had to give up using the smart mixer, and Teaki was.
I don't know where we were up to.
No, but I will make it clearer. Basically, the story goes like this. Teaki had a store in Capalaba that was not vegan. It was a pizza shop. And Teaki wasn't vegan either. And then you had a vegan customer come along and you started making vegan pizzas for her. And then you also had a vegan friend as a personal trainer. And you were learning about becoming vegan. Yes. And then Josephine says, oh, well, that's what's right about haha 012. Anyway, yes, I get the idea, Josephine. And hello, Serena. See, people are actually noticing us this time, funny. And so you started offering vegan options at your Capalaba pizza shop.
Yes.
Okay, this is the first part. This is all in the first part of the tonight's vegan hour.
Yep.
Then you came to the Gold Coast. Actually,
no, we live on the Gold
Oh,
Coast.
sorry, you live in the Gold Coast, but you decided to set up a factory outlet.
Yeah.
Distributing frozen pizzas to IGAs.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So guys, yeah, we've done this story 27 times.
Yes.
So this is why I remember it. And
yes.
And then
that did not go well.
That did not go well, but it did get people interested in your product down here.
Yes.
And so then you went from there into Let's Create a Factory Outlet at Ashmore.
Well, we had to do something.
You had to do something with the equipment.
We couldn't keep doing the thing. We had to do something with the space.
Yeah. And vegans came along and supported you, and they came to as far as Byron and Brisbane, all to your very humble outlet at Ashmore, which didn't have seats or tables or lights. Very humble beginnings. Very, very humble beginnings.
Or a cash register.
Or a cash register. Who needs these things? What you had was a vision.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. We had a vision.
Yeah.
We knew that there was a niche market there that was not being serviced. Yeah. Yeah. And it was something I was looking for and couldn't find anywhere.
You wanted vegan takeaway fast food. Yeah. So it helped serve the purpose in your transition to becoming vegan.
Yeah.
And the vegan community locally and further afield supported it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They were absolutely fantastic. I mean, the problems that we had in the beginning were
they were
just terrible. I mean, our fast food, we tried really hard to be fast food, but it took about an hour to get good food.
But people would hang around and support you, and they talked about you on the vegan forums and made other people aware. They sat out,
and
that's right.
Connect Four.
And the thing was, you were very customer focused, and this is what kept people on side. The food was yummy, and the food is yummy, and you're customer focused. You like any issues, you're like, how can I help make it up to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what makes a
We
big
never wanted
difference.
we never wanted to take customers for granted. That was a really big thing.
And good evening, Louise. Thank you for watching. So it's, not taking the customer for granted. I think a lot of other businesses could learn from your philosophy there. A lot of other businesses, because it's not that common. And people were really like, no, it's okay. We understand you're having teething problems.
So good.
They were so understanding. I saw it time and time again, and it was just like really, really wonderful. So let that be a lesson to other businesses out there that, you've got to look after the customer, because the customer is everything.
Yeah, and we knew that all it could take, if we didn't treat our customers well, all it would take is somebody with a little bit of a budget to put a shop in a better area, and we were kaput.
And you were gone.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
And we had to rely on customer loyalty.
Yes.
We had to treat them well. We still do. I mean, we'll always have to treat our customers properly, but especially in such
in their humble beginnings. Now, I remember when you said to me, "Oh, we found a place. We found a place in Broadbeach. We found a shop," and I remember. I think I remember saying to you, this is before you opened. I think I remember saying something like, "That is an excellent location. That is like, I hope that," and I was thinking to myself, "I hope this works." So you went from the factory outlet, and you then opened the first proper shop.
Yes. But do you know how we got to do that?
How?
One of our customers lent us the money to do it.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Who is now one of my best friends, but at the time, we had only just become friends.
That I actually find that really touching.
Isn't it?
That is fantastic, and obviously you would have been really touched by that. Yeah.
I was gobsmacked.
You would
and
be.
She continues to support us now.
That is incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
So, and that got the foot in the door to have a proper, outlet.
Presence.
Yeah, proper presence in a high traffic area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was still, we still didn't have a huge budget, so we've still had to, we're still rough around the edges and stuff there, but we'll get there.
But what you've got tables and chairs and lights.
We do.
You have burgers to die for. Now, talking about which one, the burgers won the Gold Coast Bulletin Best Burger of the Year. How satisfying was that?
That was
up against.
I tell Uber driver. I told an Uber driver today.
Yeah.
Because he said, "Oh, where are you going?" And we were going to look at the new shop.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah." I was talking about the food. He's going, "Oh, yeah, that it's a really good business to be in now." And I said, "Well, our burger, and I say our burgers won the best burger on the Gold Coast." And he said, "Oh, the best vegan burgers?" And I said, "No, the best burgers." But that's the vegan community too. I mean, the way that they just get in and support.
So strongly that a fully vegan place goes up against meat places and wins.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it. It's just.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to step back to the Ashmore outlet before we move forward into your future expansions. I mentioned in the promo photo that the pizzas that you were doing, the frozen pizzas that you were doing, that you were supplying to IGA, they were actually the catalyst for my parents to stop eating meat. And I want to share this story because it's just amazing, because I mean, this is my 37th year of being vegan, and you would think maybe I would have been the catalyst for it, but no, it was, you were doing a special deal. You had, I think, 5 frozen pizzas for $10 each or something. It was a fantastic deal.
Yeah.
Massive Feed the Earthlings pizzas, massive. And so I took 5 home. I couldn't fit them in my freezer. So I gave a couple of them to my mum. I said, "Here, put them in your freezer." Now, this was at early subtle. And it wasn't, I wasn't trying,
you wouldn't,
to be honest, I had given up hope that my parents would ever change.
Yeah.
My parents had been vegetarian before I went vegan. So we're talking very almost pre-teens, I think. My parents were vegetarian temporarily for maybe a few months.
Right.
And then they went back to eating meat. So I had a little bit of experience of that before I went vegan when I was 16. But I've given up hope over the years of ever sort of even trying to talk to them anymore about it, because it was just like, they're not going to change. So anyway, to make a short story long, I put the pizzas in my mum's freezer, and basically to store them, so that when I'd gone through my pizzas, I would get them from her. And then, anyway, she asked me, she said, can I heat one of them up and give it to Dad? I said, yeah, go on. So she heated up the pepperoni pizza, gave it to my father, did not tell him that it wasn't a meat pizza. He ate it and said to my mum, this is the best pepperoni pizza I've ever had.
No
and he
way.
had she didn't tell him. He had no idea. And she proceeded to still not tell him. And then she, I don't know, sometime later, heated up the second pizza, which I think was the more veggie type one.
Yeah.
Gave that to him and didn't tell him that wasn't a meat pizza either. And the same thing happened. He's going, this is awesome. Can I have more of this? He's raving about it. So my mum sort of my mum must have had some sort of wanting to stop eating meat herself, because she then grasped this opportunity, took her shepherd's pie and started making a vegetarian version of it, gave it to him, didn't tell him. At this stage, he still doesn't know that he stopped eating meat. Didn't tell him. And he's going, this is fantastic. I love this shepherd's pie. She kept this ruse up for, I think, a couple of months before she told him. She actually said to him a couple of months down the track, do you realise you haven't been eating meat for a couple of months? He did not know.
Oh, that is just fantastic.
Isn't that incredible?
That's so good.
But it gets even better. She didn't tell me till about 3 months down the track, and then said to me one day, when I'm there, she said, we've been vegetarian for 3 months. I honestly, I didn't believe it. I thought she was spinning me a story for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm going, no. She's going, no, we haven't eaten meat now for 3 months. I'm going, no. I've looked around and gone, I've come in the wrong place, haven't I? Obviously, I'm in, and I'm going, who are you? Obviously, she's going, no, seriously, we haven't. And then she told me that story.
Well, that's how people react when I tell them I don't drink anymore.
Same thing. They can't believe
They
it.
don't believe me.
People don't believe me either, but I haven't drunk since I was 17. But anyway, so your pizzas actually got my parents to stop eating meat.
That is a
Thank
really
you.
cool story.
Thank you. And they were, my dad will be 80 next year. So that he was 78 at the time, because it was earlier last year. And my mum was 76. So how incredible. Best story ever, Brady says.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It is amazing, isn't it? And now
touching.
to bring it up, and the other thing is I'm trying to get them to go fully vegan. I've told my mum about what happens with the cows. I've actually bought her vegan cheese, given it to her, and I just haven't been able to get her over the line with that. So maybe it'll have to be some food from you that will do it.
I'll figure out a way.
But I will say this, I did a couple of days ago give them some samples of a new product which isn't on the market yet, which I'm involved with, and it's obviously a vegan product using vegan cheese, and it's a fast food product, and I gave them some samples of it. My dad raved about it. He raved, and he just said, that is incredible. He said, what is that? He said, is that going to be released on the market? I said, yes, hopefully next year it will be. And he was raving on about it, and he mentioned it repeatedly, mentioned it the next day.
Wow, there are some really good products.
There are. So that's sort of secret that at the moment. But anyway, hopefully next year.
That's not a secret now.
No, well, I haven't given away any details of what that is,
true,
but let's just say that will be a winner based on the small feedback that I've had from people that have tried it, and I'll tell you about that when the live stream's finished. Maybe you might tell you a little bit more without giving anything more away, if that's possible. Anyway, so that's that story. Now. So we've gone from Ashmore, we've gone to opening the Broadbeach.
Yeah.
Right. So we've opened the Broadbeach. People embraced it.
Oh yeah.
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 From day one.
Day one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we put it at, as is the way, it took a lot longer to open than we expected.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I put up a post one day and said we're opening, you know, at 4 o'clock, whatever, like
that day.
2 or 3 hours later, and we were busy from day one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it happened when we opened at Capella Bar last week.
Okay, so Capella Bar only opened last week. Yes, was it the week before?
Maybe the week before.
Yeah, I think maybe the week before. Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
And it was what, busy straight away, or
yeah.
Fantastic. So what's happened now is you've gone back to your original shop. You've made it fully vegan.
Yeah.
And people are embracing it. And as you were telling me earlier, the non-vegans are actually saying, well, that's the way the world is going.
Yep.
And which is amazing when you get somebody that hasn't embraced veganism personally, but is aware, is seeing the shift. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's showing the change that's happening in the world. That is really impressive.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've now got, I mean, obviously Ashmore was shut down when you moved to Broadbeach. Yeah. So you've got your outlet at Broadbeach.
For some reason, they liked eating at the Broadbeach shop more than
more than Ashmore. Well, I don't know what that is. Well, it's close to the beach. There's plenty of parking. There's lighting. There's tables. There's chairs.
You all just want that fancy stuff. Don't
It's
you?
open for lunch and dinner. I mean, wow.
Every day.
Every day. That's not like we might open today, we mightn't, you know. So, and the support is there. And I mean, you've had, again, even with Broadbeach, you've had a few little hiccups, but you've been there saying, look, if there's any issues, we will, you know, help the customers out, you know, so that your experience is positive. Yeah. So that customer service is awesome.
We really do our best. I mean, you know, no one's perfect, and sometimes we have little issues.
Of course.
But you know, we do.
What about
we try really hard. If someone comes to us and tells us that something wasn't quite right or we did the wrong thing, we really will do everything we can.
I believe, did you have a thing where you said if a vegan brings an Omni friend or something, they can eat a burger for free or something? Was something like that happening?
Oh, we did do that, but we still always, if they have a burger and don't like it, we'll give them their money back.
Excellent.
Because the thing is, if they come and, you know, spend their $20 in our shop, it's fearful. If they go, well, what if I spend my money here and I don't like it and then I'm hungry? So we tell them, well, if you don't like it, we'll give you your money back and you can go somewhere else. And we've never had to give someone their money back.
I'm not surprised. I can't believe anyone would eat there and go, oh no, I didn't like that burger. best burger on the Gold Coast. I mean, yeah. And pizzas, we were talking earlier about how you like to load your pizza up.
We do.
I mean, like an inch thick. It is fantastic. It's the only pizza I can't eat one whole pizza of. I mean, I could eat a Domino's without cheese.
Yeah.
I can eat a Mandela's one. They're a smaller pizza, but I about half of one of your pizzas, and that's about it. No, I'm taking the rest home on the back of the bicycle. See if it makes it.
Mandela's pizzas are delicious.
Mandela's pizzas are delicious too. And actually, that's something I want to ask you with some of your other favourite places. But okay, so let's talk about, I believe you're about to open a third outlet.
Yes, we are.
The word on the street is you're about to open a third outlet. So tell us about that.
So we are in the process of opening in Burleigh.
In Burleigh? Yes. Yeah. Can we say where or not? At the moment, can we say where in Burleigh? Yes. Yeah.
So it's at Treetops Shopping Centre.
Treetops Plaza, I think they call it.
Yeah. So it's on the outside where the fast food strip is. So you have Subway and there's Zambreros. So we're next door to Zambreros.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it used to be an Indian place. So now that's where we're going.
Excellent. This is good. And you're hoping to be up and running by the new year?
Yeah.
Be closer for Harry.
Yeah. Would you like me to set up the booth for you with your name on it?
Well, actually, my name is on the menu at 2 other places now.
Oh, is it?
There's they did at Greenhouse Coolangatta did a Harry Christmas eggnog.
Oh, I like it.
When I was there, but I think that was a one-off for when I had the event there a couple of weeks ago. And I'm also on the menu board for space bars.
Oh,
Space
gotcha.
bars. I'm actually,
Really?
I'm not. They haven't named an item after me, but they've used my photo on that on the menu board.
Really?
So I need a booth. That's what I'm trying to say. I need a booth.
Need a booth.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's got to have my name on it. And then
Yeah.
I can charge people to sit in it or something like that. Yeah. And can I get a personalised parking spot, a helipad,
Yeah,
and
sure. All
and,
seems reasonable.
and an on-call masseuse? Thank you.
Why not?
Done.
Done.
Okay. Now, so you'll be offering at Treetops the same wonderful fast food takeaway items?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's burgers, not dogs, as I call them.
Yeah.
Milk with a Y, milkshakes. You've got your fish with a Y and chips.
That's you with a Y. We don't do it with a Y.
I do it with a Y. It makes me feel better.
It does, and I do. I get that.
Yeah.
We don't do that just because we want to deceive the meat eaters. They're not really. No,
if they would, because you pick them up, because they wouldn't question it. You pick them up with that. So that
I mean, it's still written everywhere that it's vegan.
But so at Broadbeach, do you get people come in that don't realise they've missed the fact that it says vegan?
Oh, all the time.
All the time, yeah. What happens? They come in, they order, they're not aware.
Well, I did have one person leave when she found out it was vegan. She cancelled her order and went to the other shop down the road.
Yeah.
So she cancelled her order of hot chips.
No, I want my hot chips cooked in oil that has some cruelty with it.
So that was interesting.
True
story.
I have no comeback. You really got to shake your head, haven't you?
No.
That's such a conditioning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That the idea in that person's head of something vegan is like, no, I've got to go to what I'm used to.
Yeah, but I must admit though, there's a big shift already in the year since we've been at Broadbeach from when we first opened to now, even in that year.
A big shift in
the public's perception of vegan food.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So so you're noticing that from how are you noticing that?
Well, in the early days, a man and his son came in and ordered some pizzas.
Yeah.
And there was just something about it that I thought they don't know that we're vegan.
You're right.
And I thought, because I was joking before, I don't want to deceive our customers.
Yes.
So, and I didn't want him to feel ripped off or deceived or, anything like that. So I went over to him and just said, look, I just, want to make sure that you're aware, and told him that. And he was so angry.
Wow.
And I
wow.
I said, well, why wouldn't you tell him that? I said, well, it's on the menu, and we have got it written up there. And, I was being as nice as I possibly could, and I said, I'm quite happy to refund your money if you don't want your. Well, yes, I want a refund. I don't want this food. And I was just like, okay, all right. So I gave him his money back. And what I didn't have to say anything. But
you have a good conscience, obviously.
I didn't.
So what you're noticing is that you're not getting that now. You don't get people.
No. Now it's more. Oh no, I didn't realise. Oh, and we go.
Yeah. And they're
like,
you're
going to give it a try? Yeah. And we say to him, look, if you don't like it, we'll give you your money back. And they go, okay, yep, no worries. And they'll give it a go.
And then they go, geez, this is good.
Yeah. Well, I think the Benny Hannon video definitely helped as well. The Benny Hannon, the guy from the radio, when he.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay. For those that are not aware, can you tell us about that? Because that was a very popular video. That one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that one went viral.
So it went viral. So tell us what happened there.
So we had customers that worked at CFM.
Yep.
And Benny Hannon had been, quite vocal about being anti-vegan and anti-vegan food.
What, had he been vocal on air about it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right.
So they decided to, well, that's what I...
This Benny is one of the announcers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
So, footy player, he played for Australia.
Right.
So they decided to take the burgers and, just stitch him up.
Yeah, it's
So they took a
what you
burger
mean
and
by
he's going,
stitch him up
"Oh."
is basically they took him burgers without him knowing they were vegan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they filmed his reaction.
Yeah.
And
yeah. They filmed him eating and he was going, "Oh, this is great. The patty's great and the bacon and the lettuce and, you know, loving it." And then, the guy said, that's vegan. And they just went,
he couldn't
he
believe
just
it.
went, "No,
He couldn't
no
believe
way."
it.
He's going, "You're kidding me." So then he tried the chicken burger and it was just absolutely
Blown away.
gobsmacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he did say something that was a little bit from his meat eating conditioning. He said something like, "Oh, I feel like I'm doing something wrong or something
I feel
here.
like I'm cheating on
I feel like I'm
dinners."
The conditioning is so
And
strong.
he's a really lovely guy,
Yeah.
really nice
Oh,
guy. He didn't
I'm
need,
sure
you know,
he is.
exactly what you just said. It's just
Yeah.
the
The
conditioning.
conditioning is
you
so
know?
strong.
Yeah.
There's so many lovely people in the world that are sadly wrongly conditioned.
Absolutely.
You know, and they're beautiful people, except for the fact that they're supporting so much cruelty, and they're just not awake to it.
Yeah.
So
So that video went viral, over 100,000 views.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
So that was cool.
That video is actually on your, I think
on the website. Yeah.
it's on your Facebook page too,
Yes.
isn't it? Yes. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. It is quite good. Your partner Phil takes the burgers in, and it's great to watch the reaction. I mean, this is such a powerful example of how we don't need to support cruelty, isn't it?
Exactly.
When somebody that has eaten meat all their life and hasn't made the connection yet is given something that's cruelty free and still can't tell the difference, then why the hell is there any reason at all for supporting cruelty? Yeah. Because the reason for most people is taste, isn't it? Is that what you find? Or do you get people giving other reasons?
Well, I get lots of reasons.
Okay. Such as?
Well, taste, or the same reasons that everybody else hears.
Protein.
I love my meat.
Yeah. Yes.
I love
my
meat.
Cheese. Yeah, my cheese. Yeah.
So,
I love my cruelty. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear all the same things that everybody else hears.
Right.
I feel like I really believe that most people are good people.
Yes.
You know, I really believe that.
Yes.
And I think we've all got things going on in our lives that prioritize, that are a priority to them in that moment, you know?
Yes.
And I think that if something seems like that, even though they know it's wrong, if it seems too hard, then they just have to justify it in their own minds, you know? I think if we make the more steps we can make to
make it easier. Yes.
And when people start going, you know what, it's just as easy for me to have that non-vegan as it is to have a vegan as non-vegan.
Yep.
I think that's when we're going to see the really big changes in the world.
And you're seeing that in the short time that your vegan awareness has been happening, as you're saying.
So last Christmas, I had an issue with the family feeling like I had been deliberately excluded.
Oh,
They didn't mean it like that, but I was quite sensitive to it.
Yes.
And then a few months ago, it was for Halloween.
Yeah.
So my sisters, they have a kids party, and they had a barbecue, and it was all vegan food for everybody.
Is your sister vegan? Wow.
She's a meat eater.
Wow.
Yeah.
So.
And everyone that was there ate it.
And is that because the influence you had on them, by the sounds of it?
Well, her daughter doesn't want to eat meat.
Excellent.
So she doesn't make her eat meat. Their favourite place to eat is at our shop.
I can understand that.
And because she'd come to our place and had sausage sizzle with us, she knew, well, I'm happy to, and she just wanted me to feel comfortable, and
that
she
is
wanted
great.
to be,
That is great. Yeah.
And she thought, well, you know what? It doesn't hurt everybody else, and everyone else loved it as well.
Fantastic. And you bring up a really relevant point, because this time of the year, next Monday, Christmas, for those of us that have family members that aren't vegan, can be quite a challenging time.
Yeah.
And thanks to your food making my parents go vegetarian. Last Christmas was the first Christmas, I think, ever that I was able to sit down with my parents and with my ex-wife and have a vegan Christmas. And it was just like, this is, you know, I didn't have to go through seeing all this death on the table, and that was just like so wonderful to be able to have a Christmas lunch like that with my parents, something I never thought would happen. So it's just, I gotta say, Feed the Earthlings, you made a big,
cool.
it really is. So a couple of comments there. Joe saying, you know, the reasons why people use for still eating meat is convenience.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons. Habit.
Oh, absolutely.
Habit was mentioned there. I think Brady mentioned habit. And Louise just asked, what shop are we talking about? And Joe's just saying, Feed the Earthlings. I know we've gone past 8:30, but because of the hiccups we had in starting late and because of the break in between the two parts, I've convinced my parents to do a very vegan Christmas. Excellent.
That's impressive.
That's impressive too. I love it. There is that saying that says if you can, if you can live a happy, healthy life without harming others, why wouldn't you? And what we've been talking about tonight with the food shows that, because you know people, a meat eater can't tell the difference. You know, they're having burgers, my meat eating parents couldn't tell the difference and they preferred it. You know.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, so why? You know, but I feel like saying to a meat eater, why, if you can't tell the difference, would you still support cruelty? Why?
Yeah.
You know, because the main reason is taste, and you think it tastes better. Well, you know.
When we were talking about Cube of Truth before.
Yes.
And that's exactly why.
Okay, we haven't mentioned that
now
live.
I feel like that I'm plugging myself. I didn't mean
No, we
that.
haven't mentioned that live. But Cube of Truth, when they do their events at Broadbeach near Feed the Earthlings, it's been wonderful that you've supplied them with burgers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's good marketing.
It's good marketing.
That, you know, I don't want everybody thinking that we do these things because.
Yes, yeah, I understand that, but it's to help the public.
But it does.
Because the public has offered a bit of burger and just saying, here, do you want to try this? And the public try and go, wow, that's amazing. And
exactly.
then they're told that it's vegan, it's cruelty free. There's no animals were harmed in that.
And it helps them get their defenses down, because if you give them something that still tastes just as good to start with, then they can listen to what you're saying, because they don't immediately go, oh my gosh, if I listen to this, I have to change and then I can't eat any more food.
Yes, that perception.
But if you've already just given them something, then you've already got their mind, you know, subtly starting to change.
This is why it's so easy in 2017, nearly 2018, for someone to just transition straight away. It's so easy because they can go into any of the supermarkets and get so many vegan alternatives now. They can go to any of the.
They can, but they still have to have a vested interest. And I think that's what we try to do.
That's what you're trying to do. Yeah.
We're trying to make it so that even people who don't feel like they have a vested interest will still go, you know what, I may as well. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't care. The animals don't care why people go vegan. They just want them to. You know.
Exactly. Well said. That's right. Exactly. If you were the person that was being exploited, and tortured and enslaved and all the rest, yes, you're not really going to care if the reason why the person stopping doing that to you has done it because of environmental reasons or their health reasons or whatever. You're only going to care with the fact that it stopped happening to you. So yes, the animals, Joe says, Brady says, took mum to the Green Edge yesterday to shop for ingredients for the very vegan Christmas. That's awesome. It's just really good.
That's really cool.
I think we're going to start winding up soon because I think we need to.
Probably.
But I wanted to ask you, are there future expansion plans? Anything you can mention publicly or?
Yes.
Because a little birdie might have told me that there might be, but that's up to you whether you want to mention anything.
Yeah, so we've got our first franchisee opening in Brisbane. Yes. So that's been in the works for a while though. We're just struggling to find the right location.
Okay, still, but you've got a person interested there to get that happening. Excellent. So sometime next year we can look forward to a second Brisbane location.
Yeah.
So there'll be.
So next year the plans are another one in Brisbane.
Yeah, that's good. We'll have 2 on the coast running then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toowoomba.
Toowoomba. If anyone's watching from Toowoomba, this is what you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Excellent.
Sydney and Melbourne.
Oh, wow. From such humble beginnings.
Yeah. We still got a long way to go, but and we are still a little bit rough around the edges, but we just,
but,
oh well.
but you're so honest and real in what you're doing, and it's that I think from seeing it grow, I think what I've seen is just people have just got behind you and supported you because you've just done the right thing by the customer, and I think that's where it's just come back. It's like that philosophy is just brilliant, and as I said earlier, it's something that's very simple for businesses to do, and I know a lot of businesses claim that they look at the customer comes first, but the proof is not there when it comes to the crunch.
Yeah.
You don't see the evidence of it.
Yeah.
And you see customers jumping through hoops to try and get problems solved. With you, it's always been from the beginning, it's been, look, I'm really, really sorry. The food didn't work out the way it should have. How can I make it up to you?
Yeah.
And that is brilliant. You go so far in business, and you will go so far in business with that philosophy alone, and with the wonderful burgers and the pizzas and everything else. So is there anything, before I wind up tonight, is there anything you'd like to share with us that we haven't talked about? Anything that comes to mind? We've sort of, I think I've asked you most of the questions that I wanted to. And Yana says, what about the northern end of the Goldie? We need more vegan food. Actually, yeah, the northern end, we need more 100% vegan food. There's a couple of vegetarian places there that do a lot of vegan options. Girikana and Kuan Yin, fantastic food. And I used to support them, but I just prefer personally to support the fully vegan places. So it's nothing against them, but yeah, there's a possibility. Who knows? That looks almost. I know that look. So maybe, who knows what the future brings. Anyway.
Well, the road from here is franchising, so I guess it also depends on who wants to open their own store and
there you go. Okay, Yana, there you go. you need to put your hand up and say, hey, I want to do one, and then get in touch with Teaki and take it from there. So whilst eating a burger.
But I do want to say that we're really, really grateful to the vegan community. Like, really, I can't express how grateful we are that they've supported us so strongly since the day we started. It's just been, and I don't think we would ever take that for granted. Yeah.
I'll second that. It actually surprised and impressed me how much support.
It's incredible.
You got.
We a lot of the staff that we get are not vegan, and then they will always, after being there for a week or two, I just will always say, I can't believe how nice all of your customers are, because it is just such a beautiful community. I've always, as you know, this all started because I love business, and it's always been about, making money, but to now be able to do something with such a,
giving back sort of thing.
Yes.
And also I think there's an element, would it be fair to say there's an element of you're getting that support because you're giving it out in the first place. It's like a karmic return. It's like you're doing the right thing by people in the first place. You never were taking them for granted at the beginning.
Yeah.
And because of that, people have been supporting you. So you give out the love, it comes back. So
that's true.
So I think that's evidence of it happening in a business sense. Which is fantastic. Yeah, it is, because business is made up, and this is a concept. I know I said I was winding up, but business.
I don't think we know how to wind up.
No, I don't think we do. This is what happens when you and I start talking. We've had chats that go late into the night while I'm eating bloody food at your place. But the thing with business is made up of people.
Yeah.
That and I hate personally the saying that there are no friends in business.
That's rubbish.
That is, it is. It's horse shit. Absolutely horse shit. Whoever says that should get out of business. Simple as that. Because that is, if you run your business with that philosophy, forget it.
Especially with vegan businesses, we all need to be, I think, we all need to be supporting each other. And, you know, like with Sarah Bar and Greenhouse and, you know, Flower of Life.
And that happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you're my competitor.
We're not. And it's,
no.
Yeah.
No, and that's another thing that I've found is surprising and delightful to see. Is that support?
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh yeah, no, don't go to them and bad mouthing. It's the opposite.
Well, it's like Mandela's. As I said, their pizzas are real. It is. It's just so different.
So many times, the owners of other vegan places have said to me, oh yeah, we love eating at such and such a vegan place, and we love, like you said with Mandela's,
Tian Run.
Yeah, you see, there you go. That's answered a question I didn't ask you. Which place do you like eating at? Mandela's, Tian Run?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't even know. Probably, Tian
Greenhouse
Run
and Saraba, but everyone calls it Sarah. Yeah, it's actually pronounced Saraba.
Oh, well, there you go. I did not know that.
But you'll have to watch the episode I did with Dean where he told the story of why it's called Saraba.
Well, that just makes it even worse because I know why it's called
that. Sarah.
Oh.
And it's also
kids'
it
names.
is first 4 letters of his kids, but it's Sarah.
Crazy as us.
Yeah.
Lots of children.
Yeah, lots of kids. But yes, okay, so I'm going to wind up now and say thank you for everyone that's been watching the Vegan Hour throughout the year. We've done 44 episodes, which is a lot. Vegan Hour will be back. Hello from Melbourne, Walter. Vegan Hour will be back next year in January and with a slightly different strategy, which I'll let you know about when that happens, when I let you know about it. Anyway, I thank you for everyone's support and for all the questions and for the sharing. And this episode will be on YouTube probably tomorrow night. And I'm hoping that everyone, including yourself, of course, has a fantastic Christmas, a cruelty-free Christmas, and let's educate those who have not yet made the connection. And if you have any questions on this live stream, you can ask it even after the live stream's finished. So, guys, I don't think there's anything more to say for 2017. So, thanks again, Teaki, for being on. And if your place was open, I'd be up there now having a burger. So, guys, live vegan and save lives. Stay safe over the holidays, and if you've got family members that aren't vegan, just share some vegan food with them and let them see that they don't have to keep supporting cruelty. So stay safe, and the Vegan Hour will see you in 2018